Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Ahura Z, and this is Kazi, and welcome to Ask the Unicorn. You want to say hello?
Hello, good evening. This is episode 26, and today is March 26, 2014.
Wow, because of the way that I'm sitting and where the camera is, it makes my hands look really big.
I'm confused. Do I look at the camera or do I look up
You
at
look
the
at
screen?
this.
Okay. Hello.
Why are you confused?
I don't know, I was just playing.
Okay, so hopefully we have a lot of really good questions. I hope you've all had a great week, and there's some birthdays, or a birthday that I know of, and
I had a lot of birthdays.
yeah, well, a lot of March birthdays, yeah.
Nice.
And I hope you all have a wonderful birthday and birthday month. And for those of you that don't know this, you're supposed to celebrate your birthday first of all. But you're supposed to celebrate your birthday for the entire month.
Wow.
That's the rule. I read it in the paper somewhere.
Did you look it up?
Anyway, it looks like we have quite a few questions this evening, and I'm hoping to answer them all. I will answer any questions that have to do with the metaphysical, the spiritual, the mystical, and the paranormal. However, there are two types of questions that I will not answer. So once again, please do not ask them of me, because you'll get a flat, I don't answer those kinds of questions. And that has to do with someone, when someone is going to die, or whether or not someone is going to die, or whether or not someone is cheating on their spouse. Because I don't want to know. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to know anybody's business when it comes to that. You should be able to handle that on your own. This has to do with your own spiritual development. And your spiritual development is not concerning yourself with when someone is going to die. Nor is your spiritual development concerning yourself with whether or not someone is cheating on you. That may be your physical development and even your emotional development. But keep your questions pertaining to how I can best help in helping you to grow spiritually. Okay, and we'll get along just fine. Now, I will talk to you about a couple of things that I've been thinking about lately, and one of them is, there are a lot of very mystically minded and mystically inclined people out there in our country and in the world. One of the things that I'd like to talk to you, all of you that are in the light worker department or the helps department of life, and I'm talking to people with a psychic ability or a special ability that helps other people. Can you do me a favor? Excuse me. Can you do me a favor? It's wonderful that you have your gift, and it's wonderful that you're willing to help others with your gift. And I, by all means, do that. But can you just not be creepy about it? Okay. In the New Age community, you can run into some really creepy people. Okay, and these are people that will say things, but even if what they're saying is valid, they'll do it so creepily. And gazing as if they've just been introduced to the highest strain of cannabis sativa, that there is, and things like that. So it helps a person when you can come across them very, very grounded. Okay, so those of you that are in this particular area of work, you telepaths out there, you psychics out there, you mediums, you people that are intuits and healers, and all of you, can you please stop being so creepy? I've heard reports of people from people that just come in and say, I really thought this person was very, very nice, but she's just very creepy, and I understand. I do my best not to be creepy. I try to remain grounded and try to give everyone a grounded explanation as to what it is that they're going through, and I think it's the best thing possible. When you're talking about crystals, first off, you're talking about things that not everybody understands. And you're talking about things such as talismans, totems, etc., etc., etc. You have to come across very, very grounded. If you look at them and say, okay, if you hold this crystal up to your ear, you'll hear what it's saying. First off, that's a crock of baloney. And second off, they're supposed to be able to hear a person that is right in front of them before they can jump into hearing a rock. Now, they may get a sensation from this rock. They may also get a special feeling, and it's true, certain stones and certain crystals and certain etc. Do have wonderful energy, and that energy is to be used and brought into them or even focused in a certain way. But when you're explaining something to a person, you can't say, if you listen to it, it will if you listen to it, it will say something to you. Because it's not going to. Usually, what it will do is it will enhance that person's ability to hear themselves, or enhance that person's ability to hear the spiritual world, or the paranormal world. But the stone in and of itself is not going to say anything other to them, anything other than, wow, really cool rock, or really cool stone. Great crystal, has a wonderful vibration, or $2,500. That's about all it can really say. Now, it is very, very true that you can use crystals and they do benefit a person, and they have marvelous attributes. But those of us that are charged with teaching people about these things, we have to be very, very grounded. Just remember that, okay? I'll try not to rant too much. It's just that I've been privy to some reports of very, very creepy people. And even though these people were very, very nice, they came across very creepy. And had it not been for crisis control or crisis management, they probably would have turned away from the paranormal world. So I'm just saying, okay? Mind your manners, mind your language, mind your speech, and mind your mannerisms, okay? Don't go looking at your hands saying, this is a marvelous energy. Just be matter of fact about it. Help a person out, okay? Most people don't understand the paranormal. And usually when they don't understand the paranormal, they're very, very afraid, okay? Or they're very, very distrustful. So don't give them a reason to be distrustful, okay? Oh, and another thing. We in the metaphysical community must learn to get along with each other. We must learn to cooperate with each other. We are all working towards the same goal, and that is enlightenment and enlightenment of others. None of this bickering, no spreading rumors about people, okay? We need to quit that thing. This particular person is this or that particular person is that. Knock it off. There's enough meat in the kitchen for everyone. No one is going to steal any clients for you. There are 7+ billion people on the face of this earth. And I am really sure if someone goes to a psychic that is different from you, that is not a reason to get mad. If anything, that is a very good reason to get glad. Because then they'll have another source and you can all help this person out. Just remember that. No more bickering. It doesn't help anybody. All right. What kind of questions have we this evening?
We have a question from Rose. She says, any insight? My sign is Scorpio, and there has been much turbulence for me and my family from others. I'm trying to stay grounded. I feel huge shifts inside me, changes. Very unclear on what direction to head in. I have a strong sense of urgency that I need to find my purpose for this time. I think it is around career related too. This may be way too long, but thank you. I tried to make it into one question. Be well, me and family.
Well,
that is Rose.
Yeah, no. Rose, if you're going through some problems, it doesn't necessarily have to do with your sign. Okay, in order for me to actually tell you, well, you're a Scorpio, so that really won't help you. But what I can tell you is this. Usually it's because of the energy that has been attracted to your family. And that has very little to do with your sign, as it has to do with who you associate with, what type of energy you subject yourself to, and who you're around. So it comes down to plain and simple common sense. I think that I'm kind of familiar with some of the things that you and your family have been going through. And what all of you need to do is have a chat. You need to get together and have this talk and say, okay, this is what's been happening to us. And it's not cool. We need to change a lot of things. and you need to make sure that everyone is on board with you. So this way, what we have is a gathering of your minds. You can watch out for each other, and at the same time, you can watch each other. Okay? If you're going to be around each other and you're going to decide that we're a family unit and we're going to stick together, then you have to make sure that everyone is on the same page with you. Now, that was my dog. Now, astrologically speaking, what you're basically having is a challenge. Now remember, I can tell you this about your sign. Scorpio being the sign of transformation, which means that you're always going to be going through some type of a change. It's also the sign of karma, okay? So you have to think about, perhaps I left an energy behind someplace that has caught up to me and caused this type of an event to happen in my life. Okay, and that's for anybody. Remember, there are 12 different signs on our astrology wheel, but all of them interplay with each other. There is not one of those that doesn't influence your life in some way, shape, or form, no matter what anybody says. And please stay away from the horoscopes. I'm not going to get into those. But what I will say is this. You have to understand that there are different types of experiences. So you can call upon different attributes astrologically, such as, and that's Scooby, by the way.
Macaw attribute.
Yeah. So what that means is, perhaps in this particular instance, you can use a very Jupiterian experience, which basically is the role of governing what is going on with you, and also mediation. Okay, not only are you governing the actions and the thoughts and the feelings of yourself and other people, but you're also mediating from one family member to the other, and you're all kind of building a network. That falls under Jupiter, which basically falls under Leo, okay? So what you need to do is have that type of an experience so that all of you can get together and say, okay, this is what's happening with us, and we need to make some changes. At the same time, you're having a Mercurian experience, which basically means that you are communicating with each other. And from what I'm hearing, it needs to happen very, very quickly. Now, if you're in the mode of career, I'm sorry, I'm giving you a really quick crash course in simple astrology, okay? Okay, if you are talking about career, then what you need to understand is that you also have to employ another art, which is numerology. And what you're going to have to employ is 3, which is dynamic. Okay, you need to understand what everyone is doing. Seriously, if you're going to stay together, all of you need to communicate, you need to govern your actions, and you need to understand what everyone is doing. And finally, you need to employ a Cancerian type of an energy, which basically means between all of you, you should have 360 degrees of vision, which basically means you need to cut the secrets between each other. Okay, because the only time that things like this happen or trouble approaches out of nowhere is because someone isn't watching. And not only that, someone isn't communicating. So if you're going to stay together, you have to have an open line of communication. And it really doesn't matter if someone decides to say, well, I don't want everybody into my business because I'm a grown person. Look, if you're so grown that you shouldn't need the help of the rest of your family. And if you do need the help of the rest of your family, then cooperate with each other, which goes right back to what I was saying before. Basically, we all need to start cooperating with each other. That way we can expunge trouble. Had everyone been cooperating with each other, you know that plane that disappeared mysteriously? It wouldn't have disappeared. There would be no great mystery as to what happened to this particular flight. I don't think there is a great mystery, but okay, for pretend's sake.
I know what happened.
Yeah, I know what happened too.
Aliens. What?
Okay, but had everyone been cooperating, that wouldn't have happened because everyone would have known what was going on. And I don't care if some alien spacecraft decided to, come and abscond with a plane. And someone should have called Jeff Goldblum and had them upload a virus onto the spaceship.
Or freaking SG-1.
Yeah.
Come on.
Anyway, I'm just saying cooperation, communication, govern, which basically means that you'll have a Saturnian experience, which is discipline. Okay? So we're talking Capricorn now. Okay, you got to have some level of discipline. You got to know what everyone is doing, and that way you will obtain balance. And if you can obtain balance, you can all move again. Okay, so this will blow over. Don't really worry about it. I know that it's been a little trouble, but it'll be okay. You just gotta stay aware. Don't fall back into old patterns. Okay. And as far as your career, you just need to pick something to do. I know that you're very talented, and I also know that you're very intelligent. So use that talent and intelligence to get what it is that you want and stick with it. Okay? I hope that helps you out. If you need further help, you know where to reach me. All right, so what do we have next? Sorry about the whole ranting thing. No, I'm not.
This next question is from Lynn Meadows.
Hello, Lynn.
Hello, Lynn. She says, all my life I have had a spirit follow me from house to house. She/he sometimes moves things.
I thought you asked me this already.
Will return them after being told to. Have you heard of such things? Can you pick up anything about this?
I thought she asked me this already.
I can't remember if it was her or somebody else that asked a similar
That does
question.
happen. I mean, it happens all the time. Sometimes it just depends on the nature of the person, and it's not that they mean any harm or anything, is it? They may find something that's just very pretty. Like the little girl that I talk about often, a little spirit girl, her name is Shiri. She picks up really pretty shiny things all the time. And then I have to tell her, can you just put it back? And she does, usually after she's done playing with it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you may find it in a very odd place, like you'll find
on the floor where you just looked 5 times.
Or a piece of jewelry in the refrigerator.
I should check the refrigerator. I had missing an earring.
It's just kind of odd. But yeah, they'll do that and they'll they'll put it someplace else. There's nothing usually to be alarmed by. Sometimes it can help you out, like those of you that happen to be missing car keys sometimes. Especially if you had a little bit too much Christmas cheer or 4th of July cheer.
Eggnog.
You know, all of a sudden you can't find your keys. Part of that is because your vision is blurred, but the other part may be someone said, okay, you don't need these right now, so I'm just going to borrow them for a second. You know, so there's some good things that can come of such things. As far as the one that is taking your things, that would mean that I would have to give you a reading, which basically means that you would have to call in for that. But I can't answer the question. The question is, does that happen, and have I had experience with that? Yes, I have indeed, and it does happen.
And if you'd like to give us a call to set up an appointment, Lynn, and by the way, she said she has not asked this before, so it was another listener. No problem. If you'd like to give us a call, Lynn, you can call us at 207-347-5686.
I think she knows the number.
I need to slow down. I'm sorry. Dinamite.
And for...
Sorry.
I have no idea what she just said. And those of you that need to get in contact with us online, that is www.unicorn-cove.com or www.asktheunicorn.com. And we'll be happy to set up an appointment for you if you need a reading. I do those. Those are 15 and 30-minute readings. No, I don't do an hour reading because I think an hour reading is absolutely absurd. I can tell you what you need to know in a half an hour outside. Okay. Usually, if you need an hour, or you think that you need an hour, is because you're not really going to listen to what's being said. Understand this. When there's information, the information comes right out. It doesn't take an hour for it to come right out. There's no trances that need to be gotten into. I don't do trances. I don't let spirits into my body other than the one that's already here. If there is a spiritual being that needs to speak to you, they usually will, and they're usually pretty forthcoming. If they don't have anything to say, they usually just stand there and look at you, sometimes smiling, sometimes glaring. Sometimes they're more like, why are you interrupting me? And other times, they will be just very, very boisterous. It just depends. You have to know the rules. There are definite rules to metaphysics. Those are, if they have something to say, they will say it. If they don't have anything to say, no matter how many times you go to see a psychic, they're just not going to say anything. And you should get used to that. It's okay. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person or that they don't like you. They may just not have anything to say at the moment. All right. I hope that helps you out, Lynn. It's good to hear from you. What have you got for me next?
This next question is from Tony, and he says, there is a place in Venezuela called Catatumbo where there are thunderstorms in the same place 180 days of the year, 10 hours at a time. Is there a metaphysical significance to this?
Could be.
And I was looking really quickly, and it was saying that it's a high frequency.
Yeah, it could be indeed. Yeah.
All the time.
It could be a charge point or even a nexus where electromagnetic activity converges. Then again, it could be something trying to get in.
Portal. It's a portal.
Or out. Definitely worth investigating. Definitely that. That would be a place I would love to go and see. Not just for the lightning show, but to find out what the energies are actually all about, what's going on. That's a lot of times it's almost as though there's another dimension knocking on the door. Convergences could cause that, high electricity points. It's kind of like what happens in the Bermuda Triangle.
It sounds like it, because reading really quickly what Wikipedia says, that it happens all the time at this lake only, and they suspect a strong presence of uranium in the bedrock.
Okay, that's one reason, but uranium would also cause, a strong presence of uranium in the bedrock would cause other anomalies, not just electricity, although uranium is pretty electrified. Yeah.
Be fun to, we should go there.
Might be a good idea. I think that it's definitely worth investigating. I would love to do something like that. I try not to interrupt anything there, though, because they could be doing something there. And if they are doing something there, perhaps that's nature's way of telling them no.
Yeah, I guess let's see.
Yeah, but you're talking about Wikipedia. I know. I'm
Just
sorry,
can't find
everyone.
anything quickly.
I like when people do research, and I love to do research myself, but Wikipedia is also someone who said that it took a year to make a jelly bean. So you kind of have to take what they say with a grain of salt. I think that there are better places you can find, although...
they're in Spanish, so hold on.
Yeah. Did you say they're in Spanish?
Yeah, the articles are in Spanish.
Yeah, because you don't speak Spanish.
I said hold on. It would take me a minute to... I'll get back to you.
That's okay. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
But definitely something to investigate. It does sound like an energy convergence. Like there are different points that are causing that. Or maybe, like I said, something is knocking, trying to get in. Remember, there's more than just us here. And the Earth has its own defenses. Has magnificent defenses as well. Okay. So, what have you got there?
Ooh, okay. We have...
Talk to you a little later, Tony.
Yeah, that's really interesting. We have a couple of dreams from Marie.
Okay, give me one.
The first one says, I had come across a bottle of Dom Perignon in my dream. The year on the front of this was 1260. I was in awe that Tim and I could even afford this, or perhaps it was a gift. I really could not establish that. But I remember looking at the bottle in awe and thinking how sweet it looked and how I felt it would taste like a sweet spumante. Did I say that right?
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, I really did not want to open it because then it would be all gone. I wanted to hold on to it as long as I could.
Oh, I get that. Yeah, you're having a wonderful experience with the whole expo and everything. And you're trying to hold on to the general feeling of that. That's pretty cool. You can go ahead and enjoy it, and don't think that it's going to be over. I think what happens with all of us is that when we have a wonderful experience, we have these two relating factors, and one of them is you never notice when you're at work or you're doing something that's absolutely not fun, it just drags on and on and on. But when you're doing something that's really fun and really interesting or really engaging, the time just goes by. And then, you think about that time the next time you're in a dreary time. I think that if you just keep what it is that you're doing with the whole expo thing, if you keep going with it, I think that you will get a lot of new things that will spin off from it. So rather than holding on to that one little thing, why don't you allow it to grow, allow it to breathe, so to speak. Okay, so we're going to deal with the numbers, right? Okay, so we deal with the numbers. There's 12, 3 plus a 6, which is 9. And both of them, well, the 60, which is a 6 with universal protection, which basically is talking about healing and logic. And then you've got the 12, 3, which is dynamic and expansiveness. It means that you're going through a time that can actually be very, very beneficial to you if you just stay on it. Stay one pointed. Everything that you're doing, remember we talked about this a little while ago, that everything that you're doing comes in kind of a 3 situation. Well, that's what's happening to you right now, which means you're right on time. You just need to not get stuck in one portion of what it is that you're doing. You've opened up something. We talked about this. You've opened up an area that is very, very beneficial to you. So you're going to have to think of other areas in order to feed that one area. Okay? It's not good enough that you're doing the one expo. You need to start planning some other ones. Okay? Keep going. Start planning some new things. Create some new bottles. Remember what you said, that you thought it might taste like a sweet spumante, but you didn't want to open it. In other words, there's something that you're holding on to that you're just not going ahead and going for, and you kind of need to do that. Sometimes it's all right to put all your oranges in one cart. That way you don't have to, have more than 2 hands. So my suggestion to you is whatever you're holding back, you need to not and go for it. Okay? You'll be all right. Remember, you got that 60 there, which is universal protection. Okay?
Would you like to hear her other dream?
Sure, on that.
She says, yet another dream I would like to bring to the forefront. In this dream, Tim had a doctor's appointment, and at the doctor's office, they give gifts to the wife. So I was searching through these gifts and didn't find my name, but the name of an ex-wife. I kind of figured that was supposed to be mine. They just had not updated their files yet. So I took the gift and ran to the truck, put down the tailgate, and proceeded to open the gift. As I was seeing the content of this gift, Tim came out and said that it would be a while before they saw him, before they see him, so we can come back. And we started kisses, and suddenly he backed away from me and handed his teeth as if they were a set of dentures, then handed me what looked like a set of guns from the upper roof of his mouth without the teeth. But when I looked back at him, he looked at me as if to say I knew what all of this was about, and looked like a skeletal face with the teeth but no skin. And then I woke up.
Okay. That's a personal dream, and I'm not going to divulge that in public. However, at some point in time, you and I will sit and talk privately. Okay? In the meantime, I think that there may be, in fact, something that you know about, but we'll talk about that later. Right now, just stick with the first dream, and then at a good time, we'll sit and we'll talk about this one. Okay? All right.
And we have a question from Michelle, another Michelle.
Okay.
And she says, I'm looking to get rid of a spirit of robbery. I picked it up on a recent trip I took to Texas. I went to an AA competition in Austin on a bus from Florida, and everyone on my bus except me stayed in the same place in Austin. They were all robbed, and 3 days later I was robbed. Long story short, there have been a series of robberies, and I want to make sure this energy is gone from my life. What can I do?
Get rid of the clothes that you wore when you were on the trip. Evidently, you brought that energy back home with you and did not change your clothes when you got back. Okay? You brought some things back, so you need to get rid of whatever it is that you bought when you were there, and get rid of the clothes. And when you do that, put them in a plastic bag, get them off of your property, out of your house, take them somewhere, dump them, wash your hands before you return home. Okay? That energy needs to go away. When you get home, take a mixture of sand and sea salt and put it at your front door. Let's kind of sprinkle it right in your front door. Just as you're as soon as you walk in your house, you turn around, you sprinkle it, close your door. Okay? That should help.
Cool.
Wow, interesting thing, that.
Yeah, that's a really good.
You got to
question.
that'll bring up something else too. Because you all need to learn to protect your home. You need to protect yourself, your energy, and your home. Okay, for those of you that run around with rose-colored glasses, believing that if you don't do anything, then nothing will happen to you, I have news for you. You're absolutely wrong. Okay, there's always the possibility. So you need to learn to protect yourselves. Protect yourselves physically, mentally, and spiritually. Okay? You can never have too much protection, nor can you have too much security. Remember that. So these answers that I'm giving you, you really need to learn to use them. Now, I'll give you some ritualistic tips along the way and some protection tips along the way as well. That sand and sea salt will actually disperse the energy and make it so that it cannot come in. And you can do that. Now, if you picked up an astral energy, one of the best things that you can do is take a glass or a glass dish, and you can mix a combination of sea salt or just regular salt even, and clear vinegar, the white vinegar, clear vinegar, okay? And you can put that, mix a paste in it, and give it a little bit more vinegar and put it someplace that it won't be disturbed. And it will cut down an astral emanation. In fact, it will cut it almost all the way down. The rest you'll have to do is just simple common sense. But if you go on a long trip someplace that everybody has been robbed and you know that, one of the things that you cannot do is bring that energy back with you home. You have to do something that will separate you from that place. So if you bought something while you were on that trip where everyone got robbed, you might think about taking it back or just doing away with it altogether, okay? Because evidently there was something that was attached.
She says she just returned home 2 days ago and she's been gone since March 1st, so lots of clothes, and she asked if she can still get rid of it.
Sure.
Get rid of all of the clothes.
Well, that's up to you. I mean, did you buy all the clothes in the one place? And if you did buy all the clothes in the one place, I'd like to know why. There has to be something there, okay? There must be something between the time that these people got robbed and you got robbed, which basically means that you either crossed a path with these people, perhaps you associated with them, perhaps someone exchanged something with you. That it would have, maybe you got something for free, and if so, the thing that you got for free needs to go away. Okay? It needs to just go away. Right? So think about what you've done, and we'd be pretty interested in hearing that, because that would usually be the remedy for it, just to get rid of that. Okay? And if you're still in contact with one of the people that has gotten robbed, you have to think about the circumstance under which they got robbed. You said 3 days later you got robbed. So if 3 days later you got robbed, that means that something happened between one of the people that got robbed and you between that time. There had to be some type of event, some type of exchange, something. There had to be. Okay? And if we can locate that exchange thing, then you can just get rid of the exchange. That's how that works.
Good question.
Okay. All right. Pretty good. What have you got for me?
Next question is, how can I connect with my guardian angel?
You are connected with your guardian angel. You mean, how can you get your guardian angel to do what you want him to do? That's not going to happen. They are a guardian angel. If you want to be in communication with them, remember, part of being in communication with your guardian angel is being willing to listen to your guardian angel. Okay? If you want that type of relationship with your guardian angel, you must be willing to listen to them. Okay? No, you're not going to get them to do what you want them to do. I don't care how much complaining you do about the plight of this world, because this world is beautiful in and of itself, but because we live here with other people, sometimes it can be pretty screwed up. Okay? So if you're ready for that, this is one way. Sit and speak to them. like you would a person. And really mean what it is that you're saying. Don't ask questions. Just talk. Pretty soon, what it is that needs to be known will be known. And it's the first thought. It's not the second or the third, not the one that you decide to fix up because you didn't like the answer the first time. It's really simple. Remember, you're speaking to your guardian angel. And in doing so, remember that you're speaking to them, not at them. And they will speak to you, not at you. But don't treat them as though it's okay for you to say things to them, but not them to you. Listen. If you can do that, you're already halfway there. If you can just decide, you'll be fine. Hope that helps you. Okay, what else have you got?
We got a response from Michelle, and she says, we all built businesses on the bus and got stuff at a thrift store in one restaurant.
Oh my God.
That's probably it. Dude, not cool. Get rid of all of that crap. Burn it. Maybe not burn it, but get rid of it. Maybe you should.
Thrift storing is one of those things that's really cool, first off.
Pops and
Okay.
tags.
It is really cool to do that because you find some really neat stuff. But you always got to question the energy of the person that owned it before.
Maybe the clothes were robbed and dropped off at the
Maybe.
thrift store.
Yeah. Or maybe the people that owned the clothes didn't have great energy. You know, you always got to take these things into consideration. Listen, awareness, development, and evolution are not always convenient. It doesn't always fit into what it is that we want it to be. I get it. I understand fully. You know, I've been to thrift stores and then I figured some things out. You do still have to deal with the energy of the people that owned the clothing before. I think it's very generous of people to offer their clothes so that someone could have them. You know, but most times it's usually because they just want to get rid of it.
Yep.
You know, so you kind of, and if you all bought your clothes at the same place and everybody got robbed, big red flag.
Dude.
Gigantic red flag. Okay, so you might want to take into consideration, you know, getting rid of that stuff. I'm sorry that you spent so much money on it, but it's not going to be, you think about what you got at that thrift store, and if I were you, I would sincerely get rid of it, and I hope you haven't worn any of it.
She says it still had tags, but it could easily have been tampered with.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course it could have. You know, which basically means you need to get rid of it. Okay? And if I were you, I'd just burn it.
Oh yeah, burn it.
Okay? If you can. If you're in a place where burning things might make people come up with pitchforks and torches, then I wouldn't do that. But
Would she have to burn it outside of her property?
not necessarily.
She take
I mean,
just
she can just take and make a small fire someplace, and if that's not possible, then take it someplace else that it will be burned. You know, there are all manner of ways to dispose of something like that. You just do it, and try not to feel bad about doing it. Okay? I think that you'll be fine. You just need to get rid of that bad energy, and so do the other people. Hopefully they will. All right, hope that helps you. All right, you know, one of the things that I did was, I guess I had a flashback of the 70s and I went and bought a lava lamp
No, you bought a
for my
lava
birthday.
lamp. Because I was like, I want a lava lamp.
No,
for my
I
room.
wanted a lava lamp for
'Cause
a long
it
time,
would
because I used to
match.
have one.
Yeah, you got one because I had one first. I did.
There's nothing that you had before.
Well, okay, come on now. You. So what? You lived through the 70s and dressed
That's right.
really cool and whatever.
Yeah, I did dress really cool. My wide lapel was slamming.
And
Yeah.
what else did you wear? Your Aladdin outfit?
Whatever.
Or was that the early 80s?
Actually, that was the 80s. Yeah. Yeah, the 70s were different, you know. Shut up.
We should go back to the 70s.
No, we should not.
Roller boogie.
No, we really shouldn't.
Yes, we should.
Nope.
It's
Anyway,
awesome.
let's get back to this.
We have a shout out from Rita.
Hello, Rita.
Hi, Rita. She says, "Hey Z, good to see you. Kazi, you look great." Oh, thanks, Rita. She also has a question. She says, "If my home feels like good energy-wise, and I want to protect it and encourage more good energy, what would you recommend?"
Keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing exactly what it is that you're doing. You might consider getting a living root plant and putting it somewhere that it will receive a lot of light.
In her house.
In her house. A living root plant will ensure that the energy stays calm.
Yeah, she should know that. It's part of
Yeah, she knows
Hispanic
that.
culture.
And also, what you might consider doing is making sure that you have a place that's kind of like an altar where you can light a candle, just to keep that nice calm feeling going. Okay, but I think that you're doing fine.
Cool.
If you got your home to a position where it is positive and good, there's an really old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You're doing fine. Keep it the way that it is. That should do just fine. Good hearing from you.
Yeah.
Tell T-Man I said hey.
Yeah. And Michelle says, "I will burn the clothes in my backyard."
Good. Just don't burn the backyard.
Oh. And
okay, so what do we got? What?
we have a phone call.
Okay.
It's Elise, if you would like to receive it.
Sure.
Oh, would you like speakerphone?
That might help.
Hello.
Hello, Elise.
Oh, hi. Thanks for reminding me about the show. I forgot.
No problem.
I want to ask this kind of weird question.
Okay.
Okay, I've been having all these dreams about extraterrestrials recently, and they seem very real, and I'm wondering if they're more than a dream, they're more like interdimensional communications.
Well, they could be. Hello?
Hi.
Whoa.
And I see them, and I see the same kind of beings, like, running through our apartment, and they run through the walls. And my cats seem to be comforted by their presence, but they're not like solid. They're more like I could see through them. So I'm not exactly sure like what's going on or what's happening.
Okay, we've talked about dimensional beings before, and they could very well be dimensional beings. Even we humans are multidimensional. We just don't know it. But as far as the extraterrestrial activity, I dare say that there's been a lot of that type of an activity. There have been a lot of very interesting sightings as of late.
I've been seeing a lot of spacecrafts in the sky.
Yeah, this is one that they've been talking about, actually. That's the one that I was telling you about that I saw that's a long cigar they're always cigar-shaped. So I'm going to change it. I'm going to say they're shaped like a giant tube of toothpaste. Okay?
Yeah. I would saw one that was shaped like just like a horizontal building with lots of lights. Like
Yeah, kind of.
in it.
Yeah. And then another group decided that they were going to say that the United States says that it's a weapon called the Sky Dreadnought.
What? Are you serious?
No.
Yeah, the Sky Dreadnought. That's a ridiculous name.
Yes.
But evidently it's really, really big. And it moves kind of slow. I'm not sure exactly what they do. I don't believe that we have anything like that. No one will ever be able to convince me of that because we're just kind of dullards when it comes to that kind of building of anything. And we're still working on flying cars, so I doubt seriously that we would have anything other than a dirigible or a blimp or a Zeppelin or something like that. That's as big as what they're saying it is. So I would definitely say that we've been visited, we're being visited, we'll continue to be visited, and at some point in time, I guess the extraterrestrials will figure out that it's really kind of pointless hiding. We all know about them. You know, perhaps
Yeah,
not.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think that's just the. I think maybe the American public and whoever else is thinking about it is probably afraid of a mass hysteria or something.
Well, I don't think so. I think that we have progressed to a point where we can deal with just about anything. Maybe back in the 40s when everybody freaked out over a story, but you know, this is the 21st century, and most of us aren't really afraid of anything. You know, you have to remember we're inundated with people who are pretending to go out and see ghosts. You know, and those that really do see ghosts. But you know, you have to take this into consideration. When we say the mass public, understand that we are part of that public. You know, you and I are a part of that public. So we're not afraid of anything. So we can't really say that the mass public is. I think that the mass public is doing exactly what we are, which is saying, why are you people hiding? I mean, we already know that you exist. Why not just come out? You know?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know why they're hiding. I don't know.
Well, you know, maybe they just think that maybe they think they need to. You know, remember, we can't just assume that they're more advanced than we are. Maybe they have better equipment than we do, but maybe we're far beyond them in emotional content and being able to deal with things of a mental stress level. You know.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that people of Earth are more emotionally based, and maybe the people from some other worlds are more intellectually based. But we need each other for balance, I think.
Well, you know, I can say that too, but I don't know. I don't think that they are any more evolved in that particular area than we are. Technicality or things of a technical nature and technology is one thing, but when it comes to personality traits and etheric content, that's something entirely different. You know?
Well, it's a good point. I didn't think of it like that.
Yeah, you know. So I think to a degree we're all equal.
Yeah, I think so. Well, we're all God's children.
Yep. You know, so I think what you're saying is just the dimensionality of what's actually taking place now. Remember, they're more than just this one life. There are alternate dimensions of each life that is passing, or each life that is moving, both
So
past
you think
and
that
future.
if we could use more than 10% of our brain, then
Actually, we do use more than 10% of our brain. You know, I fail to follow the type of a philosophy that says that we don't use more than 15% of our brains. In order for our bodies to work, we would have to be using 100% of our brains. Maybe we're not even aware of those things, but you know, at the same time, we could be fully aware of things had we not been tricked into believing that we only use 10% of our brains. You know, maybe 15, maybe 20. Some of us use about 30. Some of us use 2. You know, it just kind of depends. You know, but our brains are fully functioning, which means our bodies are fully functioning. Just because we don't have a little graph that says, well, this is how much of your brain that you're actually using, even though science doesn't know what the hell they're talking about, it doesn't mean that that's all of our brains that we use.
oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Well, it was good of you to call in.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks for sending your messengers to remind me about the show.
Yeah. Well, it's always good to hear from you.
Okay.
All right. You take care.
You too.
All right. Night-night.
Bye.
And that was Lisa. And for those of you that would like to call in and have a chat with me
On
on
our
this thing,
fancy phone.
is you can call us at area code 207 347 5686. That's area code 207 347 5686. So,
Did you practice that?
I did indeed.
The
So,
voice.
what else do you have for me here?
Oh, Ooh, okay, let's see. Rita says, thanks, Z. Want to make sure I'm protecting. Will do. Awesome.
Good.
And next question is, let me scroll back up here. Oh, Mars. Mars is retrograding. Can you elaborate, please? That was the other question. That's from Lynn. From Lynn.
Mars is retrograding. Listen, whenever a planet retrogrades, it's an opportunity for you. Okay. Mars, which is usually the planet of motivation, is also the planet of starting something or initiation. Ignition or beginning. It's also the planet of creativity. Now, yeah, we've heard a lot. You know, Mars is the planet of war and passion and all of that good stuff. That's excellent, and that's very, very true. But it's also a planet of creativity and desire. Okay, so it's a really good time for you to redouble your efforts in those things that you say that you want to do, and those things that you say that you want to be. And you have until Mars goes direct to build up all of that tension. Okay, so that when it does go direct, all the energy that you have built up from what it is that you're being passionate about and being creative with and being, forthcoming with will slingshot you ahead in your development. This is a really good time for people that want to do things like get in shape, that want to come up with new resolutions so that they can stop bad habits and begin new habits, to complete things, to develop themselves in an area that they're very, very passionate about. Okay, for me, it's in film and music and creative things and in business and stuff like that. So I'm doing all that I can to make sure that I am staying, forceful in what it is that I do. Now, people will look at you and they may have a whole bunch of opinions, but the bottom line is this. This is when a planet goes retrograde, okay? Now, retrograde meaning backwards, but it's not really backwards. What it does is it takes a longer orbit. So to the rest of the planets, if you're standing on one of those planets, it would look like it was moving backwards. But it's taking that longer orbit, and astrologically speaking, you get a lot more time to reach some things that you really want to reach. So that by the time it's direct again, you have all of that energy. You have all of those goals realized so that they can come to fruition. So that's what Mars is about. And basically Mars being, ignition, initiation, beginning, passion, creativity, desire, forcefulness, conviction, all those good things. Okay? Fine. The planet of war. So declare war on stupidity. There you go. And declare war on just being short-sighted. Declare war on not finishing your goals. Declare war on not being passionate about something. Fine, that's how you use Mars. Get rid of some old things that have been destroying you for a really long time. Get rid of some old habits. For those of you that have not decided to do something in your life because you were afraid to, do it. Just jump. That's what Mars says. Mars says, just jump. Go for it. Get yourself together. I hope that helps you out.
And she says, yes, love it, thank you.
No problem at all. Okay, are there any other questions?
Yes, there is another one from Lynn, and she asks, please define astral entity.
Well, an astral entity is an entity that is based in the astral realm. Okay, and I think that we've gone through this before, but I'll do it anyway. There are different realms, and an astral entity is an entity that is locked in the astral realm. Now, we humans are not supposed to go into that realm, but there are people who do it all the time and justify themselves doing something really, really stupid because they want to find an easy way to deal with their problems, or they want to find not really an easy way, but a no-work way. So they'll go to the astral realm, or they'll want to be in touch with the astral realm so they can get answers, but they don't understand that those answers always have a price. Now, for those of you that leave your body to go astral traveling because you think it's really, really cool because somebody on YouTube said that it was cool, you are not supposed to do that. Your body is you're supposed to stay in your body. Doing dreaming is something entirely different. No, that is not astral travel. But there are beings in the astral realm that can harm you, that can hurt you, and sometimes they can really hurt you and hurt other people around you. So the best thing for you to do is to stay out of the astral realm, okay? Because if I have to go and get someone in the astral realm, I am not happy about it, okay? And I've had to retrieve people. Usually if an astral entity makes a deal with a person in order to give them answers, that person comes back with some pretty strange maladies, such as split personality, sometimes in the area of schizophrenia. I understand that science really doesn't have the capacity to understand certain things like that, but it is very valid and very true. When an entity tries to fight to have some control in a body, it causes a split personality because that body belongs to the person that it's assigned to. And no matter how many different entities try to take a hold of that body, because the only recourse when that happens is for the body to deteriorate. But there have been times of possession, and when it is possessed, when a body is possessed by something other than what it was assigned to, the body has no really recourse but to just deteriorate. And that's what it does very quickly. And it's best for people to understand that the astral realm is for people that are learning a lesson. It's almost like a place of penance. And it's best to leave them alone to learn that lesson. But we like messing with things. So these astral entities, some of them are pretty ineffective, and some of them are fairly docile, but there are a few that are very volatile and very angry because they're stuck there, not seeing that the reason that they're stuck there is because of something that they have done. And they are learning a lesson about it. Once they learn the lesson, they may leave the astral realm. It's that simple.
Is that easy?
It's that easy. Learn your lesson.
And some cases of schizophrenia, could that actually be some possession or some astral entities?
It's not really a possession.
Obsession?
It's a partial possession. In other words, someone made a deal somewhere, and sometimes the person that made the deal isn't even aware that they made the deal. They got tricked into making a deal, so it forms. That's what it is. It's an attachment. There's a difference.
An astral attachment.
An astral attachment. In many cases, that attachment can seem very much like a possession, but it's not. A possession is something else is in control, even if it's temporal.
So, go ahead.
The ones that usually a person like myself is employed to get rid of is a full-blown possession, or a type of possession that's temporal, because that entity understands that in order for it to stay longer in that body, it has to relinquish control every once in a while. Okay? So that the body can make a recontact with the correct code. You see, each body has a code mechanism. That code mechanism is the spirit of the person who belongs to that body. Mm-hmm. So if that spirit is gone for a certain amount of time, the body breaks down like any component,
Right.
Like you take things and you extract all the liquid out of it, it becomes dust. And
Sure,
pretty much that's what happens. And it happens very, very quickly. So that entity, some of those entities are pretty clever and they understand that. So they'll relinquish control just long enough
for the person to regain their energy so that they can zap it again.
Yeah, it's pretty creepy when you think about it.
It's pretty insidious. I have another question. If you were to go to...
Oh, and you don't have to wear a mask and go...
Yeah. No, if you were to go to a psych ward and you could easily spot these people
Oh, yeah, definitely. I can
spot
spot...
really quickly?
Most times I could.
depending
It depends on how long it's
the
been,
attachment.
what the type of attachment is, and whether or not they've become addicted to the attachment.
Oh, there is always that.
There are
part
some
of
people that are
humanity.
just mentally ill-equipped, but then there are some people that are that way because of an attachment. That's just the way that it is.
It'd be kind of interesting to do.
Well, you know, I don't go picking fights.
No, but you
You
know,
know,
that's on the.
I don't consider that to be
Ideas.
really interesting at all. I would be far more interested in dealing with things that I didn't have to depossess someone, you know?
Yeah, that's never fun.
No.
Yeah. All right. Well, we have another question when you're ready.
Okay.
Let me find it. Hold on. What is a God-guided soul, and is it similar to a soulmate?
What do you mean a God-guided soul?
I don't
All
know.
souls are guided by God. A soulmate is part of another grouping. You know, there are people who have, they're not like, you know, shoes. You know, it's like there's a soul, and there's a extremely compatible soul that is the other part of that soul, and this is what we call soulmates. And sometimes those can be 2 people or 4 or even 10. It just depends. There are soul groupings. There are comic groups. There are soul siblings. There are soul friends. There are soulmates that can elevate themselves and evolve to the state of what is called twin flame, which is one of those terms that is thrown around way too much.
Twin flame,
Okay.
so like a.
So basically what a twin flame is one flame in 2 forms. But, you know, we have our romantic portion of life that likes to theorize about such things, and the bottom line is it's still only one flame. You know, so when it comes to things like a soulmate, because I get these questions all the time, it's usually because someone wants to find their soulmate, or they don't understand the nature of being a soulmate, or they want to insist on being with someone and calling that person their soulmate even when they're not. Usually people don't understand what soulmates are. So let's just, you see, let me give you an example. Okay, this is my hand. These are my fingers. Okay, these are soulmates. Okay, they belong together. This is the way that it works. This is the only way that they're going to work. Now, there's no work that is involved in soulmates being together. There's no, we've got to work hard at a relationship because I know that we're soulmates. No, that's not how it works. Soulmates know that they're soulmates. Soulmates usually are able to deal with each other like soulmates, even in spite of themselves. There's no work. There's no, this finger doesn't give 20%, and then this finger gives 20%, and this finger and this finger and this 20%. That's not how it works. Each one of them have to cooperate 100% in order for the whole to work. There's no stressfulness involved. I'm not, you know, waiting and commanding my hand to work. It works because that's what it does. I don't have to concentrate on it. Okay? I don't say, yeah, God, you know, having a hand is really a lot of work, but I know that it's worth it. It's very, very simple. Soulmates are inhale and exhale. Soulmates are left eye, right eye. They are up, down, left, right, front, back, in, out. They are not a clever quip. They're not some really cool saying. They're not some bumper sticker. They're not a thing that you put on your wall. They're not something that you make a demonstration of by walking down the street holding hands, telling everybody that you're soulmates. No. And they're not something that you ask. So when two people come or any person comes and asks me if someone is their soulmate, I'm going to say one thing: no. Because if you were soulmates, you would not have to ask me, nor would you have the question. That is the way that it is. That's the bottom line. Okay? Understand that. There are different types of soulmates. No. Soulmates are not, oh, they're two people who are like wolves. You know, wolves mate with each other forever, for life. That is the biggest lie that's been told about wolves ever. A wolf will hump anything.
And get stuck.
And that's the truth. You know, so we need to get out of that airy-fairy, floofy thing and just say things the way that they are. Soulmates will know that they're soulmates, and things will coordinate so that they are together. And that's the way that it is. You'll find, and if you're searching for your soulmate, all you need to do is to be available and know that that's going to happen. Another thing, and I have to rant about this a little bit.
Oh, okay.
There are a lot of women that are looking for their soulmate. That's great. You need to distance yourself from those people that say, I don't need a man to exist. Okay? That, of course you don't. But that's not the point. Your person could come walking in the door, and because you're hanging out with this person that decides, oh, well, you know, men are the enemy, or that, and your guy hanging out with the women are the enemy, you'll find your soulmate, but you will find a way to screw it up. We need to get rid of a lot of these stupid sayings. Of course, women can survive. Of course, women can be strong. Of course, men can be strong. And you know something? Being a strong woman does not mean that you're a blistering loudmouth. It does not mean that you find reasons to be contentious. It does not mean that you have to do anything and everything possible to show exactly how belligerent you can be. Likewise, being a strong man does not mean you walk around flexed all the time. Nor does it mean that you have to find a way to be equally as loudmouthed. You know, think about it for a second. Strength is always accompanied by beauty. No matter what. A strong woman to me is someone who knows their strength and doesn't have to prove it. I remember one of the stories that I heard and saw was this woman, her name is Aung San Suu Kyi. And there was a story of her that she stood down a whole platoon and made them so nervous at the fact that she was standing there. They all had guns pointed at her, and all she wanted to do was take students from one place to another. She didn't fight them. She didn't yell at them. She didn't tell them, I'm a strong woman and I don't need a man with a gun. What she did was she stood there and very gracefully, strongly smiled. They got so nervous that they could no longer hold their guns on her. They parted and allowed her to pass. She said not one word. So, I'm going to say this to all of you, men, women. You guys want to find your soulmates, right? Is that what we're talking about? Soulmate thing. If you want to find your dream, the first thing that you have to do is be the dream. Find out how you can be the dream. Okay? Guys, that does not mean just because you see a female to go sashaying up to her and saying stupid stuff like, you look better than a new set of snow tires. Okay? Heaven must be missing an angel.
Oh my God.
Because you're right here. Give me a break. Oh, and another thing.
I'm not impressed.
1. If you volunteer to open a door for a woman, she does not have to tell you thank you. She didn't ask you to do that in the first place. Okay? 2. Women look nice when they wear certain things. That does not mean that you are obliged to say something. Whistling, yelling stupid things, staring should be not allowed. It doesn't make you cool. It makes you look like a blistering ape.
Makes you look like a creep. Creep.
Really bad.
Creep.
3. Women, if you respond, smile, wink, flip your hair, giggle, think it's cute, become stupid all of a sudden because some idiot decided to do any of the aforementioned things, there's something wrong with you. It's not cool. No, you are not showing how brilliant you are. You are showing that you are a dim-witted harpy, pretty much. You don't encourage stupidity. On the whole, listen. 2 species on the face of this earth. I hate to say this, and guys, I hate to tell you this, but of the 2, usually women are the little more intelligent. Okay? However, sometimes you wouldn't know that based upon what you see. Oh, he looked at me. So what? He looked at you. Big deal. Lots of people look at other people. And he's not looking at you. So when a guy comes up and says, you know, the streak on the side of your hair is really great. Seriously? They're not looking at that. I'm a guy. Listen, you know how I know the scoundrels of the world? Because I've been one of the biggest ones.
You're a scoundrel.
Okay? You know, seriously. Guys, it's time to get a clue. No, I am not defending women because sometimes I watch some things that women do and it just amazes me. But I watch what we do and I'm much more amazed. Okay? I have to apologize for you guys on a daily basis. For goodness sake. Oh, and you guys out there, just quit wearing girls' clothes. Quit it!
Oh, yeah, dude, guys in skinny jeans, not attractive. Let me tell you that. Especially if your legs are skinnier than a woman's. Ew.
Doesn't matter how big somebody is. That's not what I'm talking about.
Skinny jeans.
I'm just talking about, listen, it's okay to be a guy. We're not that bad. Okay? We're pretty cool. At least I'm cool. I don't know about anybody else. But it's okay to be a guy. And ladies, it's okay to be a woman. If you want something, remember this. Be the dream. There's nothing wrong with being a good, strong, and powerful woman. Power doesn't need to boast itself. Strength doesn't either. And same for guys. That's enough. Enough. Cover your chest up, dude. Seriously. Okay? It's not cool. I don't care what anybody tells you. And if you find a woman that is so desperate that she pays attention to you when you won't even use proper English and you live in an American place, I have to question the judgment of her. But if you want your soulmate, be the dream. Oh, and by the way, in my opinion, and I have to say in my opinion, because not everybody shares this particular way of knowledge or thinking, all souls are God-driven and Goddess-driven or guided. You want your soulmate? Then be the soulmate. And that goes for you women that think that your soulmate's going to come to your house and knock on your door. Not going to happen. You have to go out without a group of people. Same for you guys. Don't let your mommy pick for you. Go find things on your own. Okay? Sorry to rant about that.
Yeah, we have a caller that's been waiting for your rant to be over.
Oh.
It's Kelly.
My Kelly? Which Kelly?
Kelly, California Kelly. Kelly,
Hello.
you gotta put it on speakerphone.
I don't have to. Hello. Hello.
No?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you.
How you doing?
I'm doing okay. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. What can I do for you this evening?
Doing okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so a little over a week ago, I had a really, really strange dream where I kind of felt out of my body, and in those kind of situations, I usually just, I try to move my feet, and I memorized the prayer you gave me, so I usually say that, and that fixes it. But in this case, I would try to move my feet, and then it would be I'd get into my body back for a second, and I'd slip out of consciousness, and it was like I lost control completely of my body, and then I felt like I couldn't breathe, or I stopped breathing, and it felt like something was sitting on my chest. And I just remember being really kind of afraid and scared. And I just remember going inside, putting my hand inside my stomach area and grabbing up this big golden light disc. It kind of reminded me of something, like you'd see on Dragon Ball Z or Sailor Moon, when they're throwing the tiara or something. And I could physically feel it. It was like it was really there. It was really dense. It was humming, and it was just really, it was just really dense, and I could feel it, and it was heavy. And then I remember throwing it at something. I don't know why I threw it, but I just remember I was fighting something. I remember telling myself that I needed to, get strength or something and throw it at it. And then I just remember from that point on, I kind of blacked out, and I just remember slipping in and out of consciousness. And then I remember getting up for a little bit and trying to force myself to stay awake, but it just felt like all the energy was completely drained. And then I just remember I slept for hours and hours, and I still felt like there was no energy left.
What did you do the night before you went to sleep?
It was pretty normal. I mean, I had the candles lit. I say my prayer before I sleep. There was really nothing abnormal.
Well, you must have done something.
Yeah.
What did you eat?
I can't really remember because it was a week and a half ago.
That particular thing sounds like a hodgepodge. One, I think that is based upon something that you were clearing out that happened to you during the day. Two, you must not have been feeling really, really good. Three, you also left your body partially, not all the way, which is why you felt so disoriented. Now, if I'm I'm banking on you must have also felt a little nauseous.
Yeah.
So you kind of left your body there for a bit, which meant that you were terribly ungrounded. Which means that you need to do so. Either you didn't eat at all, or what you did eat was just bad. Okay.
Okay.
So one of the things you can do to keep yourself grounded is to make sure that you're eating and getting some physical activity. Too much inactivity can lead to being extremely ungrounded.
Yeah, no, I see that. I get that. I was just wondering, though, what is the light disc? Does it represent something, or was it something that was actually physically there? I just want to know.
No, the light disc had to do with your energy. Either you took it out of your stomach, right? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, if you took it out of your stomach, then that had to do with, she didn't have anything in her belly. There's nothing there. That had to do with you had no energy. And whatever you did, and you threw it away, which basically means there was something on the inside of you that just wasn't good for you. So
threw it at something, she said.
Yeah, I heard it.
Okay.
I heard what she said. It's just you didn't have enough energy to deal with whatever it is that you were dealing with, which means we seriously need to get to work on your diet.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even
I agree.
yeah, because even now you sound a bit ungrounded.
Yeah,
Have
I
you
feel
done?
that way. I
Did
don't
you
really
do?
feel grounded at all.
Did you do anything today? What did you do today?
No, I've just been mostly cleaning and stuff. We just got back from a really big trip, so.
Okay.
But I'm signing up for archery classes this week, so
Okay.
Cool.
I was hoping that would help me.
Okay, that should help you. But you know, I've also told you some other things that you do. Aren't you one of the ones that has that gazelle glider thingy?
Yeah, I have that.
Use it. That'll help you out. Seriously.
Yeah.
I'll work out with you on Skype.
Look, even if you did it for 50, if you did,
I wish Larry would work out with me.
well, you know, yeah, he's supposed to be working out too. I mean, if you do 15 minutes a day to start off with, it'll help you feel grounded. Okay, and also you got to make sure that you're eating right, which means to me that you haven't had much protein, have you? You haven't had much protein, have you?
Okay.
Yeah, you need protein, sweetheart.
Okay.
Yeah, I understand you're out there in like carbohydrate country and all that, but you need some protein. Make sure that you're getting protein. Why don't we cut down just a little bit on the carbs, okay?
Yeah. Well, remember when I was doing the no carb diet? I was doing a lot better. It's just that we stopped that.
Yeah, but you do need You need some carbohydrates. I know that people like getting on the no carb diet, but you do need some carbohydrates.
Yeah.
So you just don't need a lot of them. You can't have all carbohydrates.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunately what's, quick and easy. And
Yeah, I get
just need
it.
to learn how to cook.
Yeah, well,
I need to actually
I
learn
teach
how to
cooking
cook.
classes. You do know that I cook, right?
Yeah.
Did you get your computer fixed yet?
No. Larry sent it off for repair. He hasn't heard back
Oh, let me know when you
from
do.
him yet.
Okay, then we can
Yeah.
resume some classes and I'll help you out, okay?
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Right.
All right? Let me know if you have any more of those episodes. Oh, here's another thing that you can do. If you use the candles, right? You have the candle lit. You said that, right?
Yeah.
Is it a plain white candle?
Yeah.
Okay, try an LED light. You need something a little brighter, evidently.
Well, we keep an LED next to the bed as well.
But can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're just terribly ungrounded.
We'll keep that.
That's all it is.
Okay.
Okay? Get you
Okay.
grounded and you'll be fine.
Okay.
All right. I'll talk to you soon. I have Kazi.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll have Kazi give you a call tomorrow.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
Talk to you then.
Right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That brings about another point. Listen, people, take care of yourself, all right? I know that we get a lot of different points of views from different diets and different things, but you got to know what's good for you and take care of yourself, okay? Keep yourself grounded at all costs. If you're grounded, more than likely you won't get psychically attacked, okay? And there are things out there that will wait for you to not be grounded. So, what else have we got there?
Checking to see if we have any more questions. In the meantime, if you have any questions that you would like to ask, please give us a call at 207-347-5686.
Or you can come to the chat room and we can answer your questions there. That will be at, is that asktheunicorn.com?
No, that's not our chat room.
What is it? That's our site. I know that, but
Uh,
isn't this chat room in the site?
Nope, the chat room is live.
Shows what I know.
livestream.com/asktheunicorn, I believe.
You believe?
I'm not on. I can't use the chat room because of our connection.
Or whatever. You know, you can
Yes.
get in contact with myself at www.asktheunicorn.com.
Yes, if
Okay.
you can send questions throughout the week at info@unicorn-cove.com or Send questions throughout the week at www.asktheunicorn.com and click on Ask a Question button.
Yeah. See how many times you can say www. Yes. Why do we have to do that?
And the chat room is right next to the live player. If they can see the show, they can see the chat room.
Good.
Sonari says, yep.
Okay. So, what is our time like there?
It is 9:27.
It is 9:27. So here's what I'm going to do. If there are no more questions, I'm going to end the show. I'd like to thank you all for joining us this evening, and I look forward to seeing you all at our next show. Remember, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them. I like answering questions. This is exactly why I do the show. And for those of you that like the show, please tell your friends to check in as well. And if you really like the show and would like to see more shows like this, so that I'm not just doing it once a week, you can go to the Ask the Unicorn site. That's www.asktheunicorn.com, and you can make a donation to the show so that we can get better equipment. We got nifty lights now so that you can actually see us. We have our magnificent set, as you can see, and we have sights and stuff.
All right.
I have a lava lamp.
Yeah, and he got the most spectacular lava lamp. It's like somebody took neon paint and splashed all around the base of the lava lamp, and then it's like Technicolored lamp.
Technicolor.
Yeah, look, it's orange, yellow, green, and pink. The lamp itself that lights up the
It's really
lava.
cool. It's really cool. You know what a lava lamp is.
Dude, it's pink.
That's not pink. That's orange,
Nice.
green, and red.
No, there's hot
You,
pink.
you are colorblind.
Green.
I thought you were just kidding.
No. I'm not colorblind. And Debbie Emmons says, "Love you too. Great hits." Aw, that's nice.
Thank
Debbie
you very,
Emmons.
very much.
She's a neat lady.
Yeah, she is neat. She's very, very neat. And she's a writer.
She is.
Yeah, she is. All right, so remember, if you have any questions, please, I don't want to just sit here ranting all the time. If you have a question, I'd like to be able to answer your questions.
What are you looking at?
I thought I had my little Ask the Unicorn button here.
Oh
but I
my
don't.
God, you have to use it
No.
for your show. It's totally awesome.
And for those of you out there that had questions about soulmates, I hope I didn't traumatize you too much, and that was not my intention. My intention was only to clear away the cobwebs. As my wife used to say, I should probably put a sign in front of me that says, "Reality checks cashed within."
We
So
should make merchandise.
yes, and free bubble bursting.
Wow.
So, again, thank you all for joining us this evening. We'll see you next week, same time, same unicorn time, same unicorn channel. I'm Ahura Z. This is Kazi. Thank you all. Good night.
Night night.